waste. Meanwhile,
Resource management, the Quran perspective.
Solely on dumpstered food. We decided to
Wasting resources or leaving them idle goes against Islamic teaching of gratitude, accountability, and balance. Allah has entrusted us with resources as an amanah, emphasizing their wise use in Surah Al-Baqarah and Al-Isra. Resource mismanagement leads to inequality, environmental pollution, and social injustice, which is issues that remain critical in today's world. Islamic principles align closely with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs), responsible consumption of SDG 12, and clean water management in SDG 6 anchor Islamic teaching on sustainability. Instruments like zakat and sadaqah address poverty in SDG 1 and hunger in SDG 2, while environmental stewardship supports climate action of SDG 13. Through Fiqh, we learn that wasting resources is not only sinful but also harmful to society and the environment. By applying Islamic values of justice and sustainability, we can tackle modern challenges and create a more equitable and sustainable future for all.
I haven't had breakfast yet. Let me buy some food while waiting for others. Mm.
Hey, why are you buying too much food, Adam?
I'm hungry.
Do you know that buying too much food is excessive spending and is considered as waste and also considered as israf? According to article Environmental Care in Islamic Teaching by Muhammad Hashim Kamali, Islam provides a profound ethical framework for managing the earth's resources, rooted in justice, balance, and responsibility. Hashim Kamali highlights that zulum or injustice occurs when humanity mismanages resources, disrupting the balance set by Allah. This neglect harms the environment, weakens social harmony, and threatens future generations. Kamali emphasizes the concept of amanah, or trust. The Quran reminds us we offered the trust to the heaven and the earth and the mountains, and they declined to bear it, but humanity undertook it, despite being unjust and ignorant. Surah Al-Ahzab, verse 72. Misusing this trust, whether through negligence or extravagance, violates a sacred responsibility and contributes to social inequalities and environmental harm. The prohibition of israf, wastefulness, is central to Kamali's discussion. The Quran's command, eat and drink, but do not waste by excess. Indeed, he likes not the wasteful. Surah Al-A'raf, verse 31. Kamali links wastefulness to resource depletion, explaining that it denies others their rightful share and worsens global inequalities. He also addresses facade or corruption, which encompasses harmful practices like pollution, deforestation, and overconsumption. Kamali argues that such actions are not only unethical but also disruptive to ecological balance, causing long-term to humanity and the environment. The dual role of humanity as stewards and servants of Allah further highlights the importance of responsible resource management. As Khalifa, humanity must preserve the earth balance and ensure sustainability. Neglecting this duty, Kamali once constituted zulum against society and future generations, depriving them of a stable environment and economy.
Oh, my bad. If so, let's share the food together since I already bought anything.
Use minimal water usage, Adam. You are wasting a water source.
According to the article Water Treatment and Purification in Fiqh Perspective by Wan Aina Mardia Wan Zahari and others, the Islamic concept of water usage plays a significant role in combating water wastage by emphasizing moderation, conservation, and accountability. Water is seen as one of Allah's greatest gifts, vital of life and worship, and its proper use is integral to Islamic teachings. The Quran in Surah Al-A'raf, verse 31. Once again says, stating that Allah dislikes those who waste. Similarly, the Prophet Muhammad exemplified moderation, using only a small amount of water for ablution and bathing. Islamic jurisprudence or fiqh categorizes water to maintain its purity and prevent misuse. Principles from various Islamic schools of thought guide methods for water purification and sustainable practices. Modern applications, such as treating sewage water through the principle of istihala, align with these teachings, demonstrating their relevance in addressing contemporary issues like water scarcity. Education also plays a pivotal role in fostering awareness about water conservation. Integrating Islamic principles into curricular and community programs can inspire individuals to adopt sustainable habits. For example, Friday sermons can remind Muslims of their responsibility as stewards of Allah's creation. By combining religious guidance, modern technology, and community efforts, Islamic teachings provide a robust framework for addressing water wastage and ensuring this vital resource is preserved for future generations.
Oh, now I know. Thank you.
Are you buying another dress again? You already have lots of clothing sets. What are you going to do with all of them?
Chill, Christina, I just want to change my style. Don't worry, because I will donate my old clothes to the charity center. Because, according to Riani and Fatoni in the article entitled Wakaf-Based Management, a proposed model in Indonesia, a fundamental aspect of this model is the mobilization of resources through Wakaf. Land and facilities for waste processing can be funded through dedicated Wakaf assets, while cash Wakaf can be utilized to cover operational and maintenance costs. This ensures a steady flow of resources without reliance on inconsistent government funding. The model adopts an integrated sustainable waste management, which is ISWM, that approach that emphasizing waste segregation and treatment. Waste is sorted into three categories. Firstly, it is organic waste, which is processed into biogas and compost for energy, and agriculture recyclable materials, which are converted into raw materials and new products, creating a circular economy, and hazardous waste, which is disposed of safely in collaboration with government agencies to prevent environment and harm. This comprehensive approach minimizes waste while generating economic value, transforming waste into a resources rather than a burden.
Oh, now I know. Can I join you? Can I know the details?
Yes.
Are you guys just dumping all the trash in just one plastic bag? Don't you know that we need to manage our waste in order to save the earth? According to Otong Suhenda and Nur Afia Febrani in an article titled Islam and Natural Resource Management, the Quranic Perspective, they highlighted that the Quran has mentioned that Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala allows humans to engage with nature and its resources gifted by Allah, as long as it does not harm or are hazardous on the natural world. They mentioned that Islamic teachings emphasize the importance of preserving and responsibly managing natural resources. According to Sohenda and Febrani, the Quran permits humans to benefit from nature as long as their actions do not cause harm or destruction. The concept of Islah, improvement and restoration, plays a central role. As Ibn Ashur explained, Islah involves either maintaining resources in good condition or repairing damage. This demonstrates a clear link between piety and environmental stewardship, as good deeds and faith align with responsible management of the earth. The Quran also strongly opposes corruption, as reflected in Surah Al-A'raf, verse 56, "Do not spread corruption in the land after it has been set in order." This principle applies to all aspects of life, including nature, politics, and society, urging humans to maintain balance and avoid destructive behavior. The concept of ihsan, excellence and compassion, further emphasizes care and creativity in dealing with nature. Surah Al-Qasas, verse 77, reinforces this, stating, "Do not seek to spread corruption in the land, for Allah certainly does not like corruptors." Additionally, Islam warns against excessiveness, or israf, in both consumption and production. Surah Al-A'raf, verse 31, advises, "Eat and drink, but do not waste. Surely He does not like the wasteful." This highlights the importance of using resources responsibly without waste or overindulgence. Historical examples further illustrate these principles. Even the first man on earth, Prophet Adam, who was appointed as Allah's representative to manage the earth through farming, hunting, and resource management. He demonstrated how humans could coexist with nature. Similarly, Prophet Yusuf's innovative strategies during Egypt's climate change challenges showcase the importance of planning and resource conservation. By teaching farmers to store harvest and plant in suitable seasons, this has helped Egyptian farmers adapt to floods, droughts, ensuring food security and minimize waste. These examples, rooted in the Quran and the lives of the prophets, illustrates Islam's call for balance, care, and sustainability in managing natural resources, presenting a framework for ethical and responsible stewardships.
Oh no, all this time we are harming our planet. If so, are we in danger? Is it having such a huge impact?
Yes. According to the article by Sohaila, Ahmed Jalal, and Abdul Razak, Islamic ethics of waste management towards sustainable environmental health. Improper waste management has several consequences that extend to both environmental and public health. Inefficient practices lead to pollution of soil, water, and air. For instance, leachate from unmanaged waste contaminates water resources, which not only disrupt ecosystem but also poses significant risk to human health by introducing toxins into the food chain. They emphasize that such actions are in the violation of the Islamic responsibility of a Khalifah. In the Quran, from Surah Ar-Rahman, verse 7 till 10, Allah SWT warns us against harming the environment, emphasizing that the need to maintain balance in creation. Poor waste management, as they highlights in the article, disrupt this balance and causes long-term harm to Allah's creation. From this perspective, waste management is not only an environmental responsibility but also a spiritual and ethical obligation. As noted in the article, Islamic principles strongly advocate for cleanliness and the preservation of resources. The authors underlines that the Quran encourages moderation and prohibits wastefulness or israf, by stating that eat and drink but waste not by excess. For Allah love not the wasters. Means that effective waste management practices such as recycling, reusing waste, and community cleanup initiatives align with this value. These actions allow us to fulfill our obligation to protect the blessing provided by Allah and safeguard the environment for future generations.
Oh, are there any ideas to prevent those problems?
Yeah, that's right. Because prevention is better than cure.
According to Ruhul Salim and his colleague in the article titled Distribution of Wealth and Resources in Islam, Restoring Social Justice, Peace and Prosperity, I can conclude that it is always best to go back to basics. We need to remember that Allah is the absolute owner of our resources and we are only trustee appointed by Him. Islam highlighted ways to earn and spend resources based on the Tawhidic paradigm which we put moral and divine values behind it. The Quran also calls for justice to be given for all, as it is a right for all of us under Islamic rulings, including distributive justice. Distributive justice means practice of fair resource allocation based on moral and social consideration, ensuring equitable outcome while fulfilling one's contribution and needs. Distributive justice is shaped based on three basic elements, which are basic needs guaranteed for all, equity in personal incomes, and elimination of extreme wealth gap. Key rules in ensuring minimization of wastage and idle resources are by doing zakat. Zakat Zakat is an obligatory redistribution of wealth and part of pillars in Islam. Zakat helps the utilization of resources and cash instead of it being wasted and keeping it idle, opening up opportunities to those in need. Next, elimination of riba. Allah has mentioned explicitly in the Quran, which means, and Allah has allowed trade and forbid interest. Charging interest invite more harm than good, leaving parties receiving interest to accumulate more wealth and having the chances of it wasting it, and leaving it idle higher. Lastly, Islamic inheritance law. When a person is deceased, the wealth goes to the nearest family or goes to the community instead of it being left unused. Remember, excessive consumption and production are always bad things to do. Be modest.
Oh,
now we know.
In conclusion, Islam prohibits wasting, idling, and damaging resources as it is an act of injustice towards amanah given by Allah to human. The inefficiency in resource management leads to a significant environmental pollution, rapid spread of disease, social discontent, and economic burdens. The Quran promotes the values of moderation and balance, cleanliness, conservation, and being compassionate when managing resources. Fiqh also provides a strong stance against wastefulness, known as israf, and excessiveness, which is considered a transgression in Islam. Examples by prophets also can be used in daily lives. Resources have four general principles in resource creations, which are freedom of contract within Sharia, conscious voluntary agreement, honoring third-party rights, and adherence to letter and spirit of the contract. Solutions such as wakaf-based models could be implemented to improvise resource management. The Islamic perspective on water usage combats resource wastage by emphasizing moderation, accountability, and stewardship. It promotes sustainable management practices rooted in Quranic guidance, fiqh principles, and prophetic traditions, ensuring the preservation and optimal use of water for both present and future needs.